with the sessions there. We have few more to go before we put an end to this very historic Global Business Summit 2026. It's day 2 here. That's what we are looking at. And this time, we are going to talk about reinventing legacy brands, keeping purpose, relevance, and consumer trust intact while scaling globally. Now, this is where it happens the most. The legacy brands that carry accumulated trust, but they also carry accumulated expectations. So in an era that is defined by transparency, sustainability, and consumer scrutiny, reinvention now extends far beyond marketing repositioning. Now, it requires supply chain recalibration, product innovation, digital integration, and also governance accountability, where consumers increasingly evaluate coherence between stated values and operational practice. So scaling globally while preserving identity has now become one of the defining leadership challenges of this decade, and to examine how purpose and performance intersect in modern brand strategy, please join your hands together in welcoming Mr. Mike Jatania, who is the Chief Executive Officer and the Chairman of The Body Shop and co-founder of Aurea, which is this stage conversation is going to happen with my colleague Hina Gambhir, who is also the news editor of Times Now. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, in welcoming our guest on stage. Hina, over to you.
Thank you, Amita. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the Cosmetics King, as he is called, often referred to as the Cosmetics King. And we are going to be talking about a brand that most of us have used at some point in our life, The Body Shop. It remains, a part of our life. It started about 50 odd years ago. It still remains a part of our life. And Mike is somebody who actually helped the brand rescue. It was on the brink of collapse about a year and a half ago, and he helped the brand come back to life, literally. So let's start first by asking you, in one word, how will you describe the brand Body Shop today and why?
Purpose-led. I would say The Body Shop is a purpose-led brand and has been a purpose-led brand for the last 50 years. So it's deeply rooted in purpose.
And how are you ensuring that that purpose continues? I mean, it started with a purpose, it has a soul, it has an identity of its own, but you have rescued it, you are reinventing it, but you also have a legacy to look after. How is that happening?
Yeah, great question. And it's a pleasure to be here amongst all of you. Let me put it, first of all, into context, The Body Shop, and then answer your question about legacy. So the legacy is 50 years old. It was set up by Anita Roddick in those days, and she set up a brand which she wanted to be a force for change, a force for good. And so she brought purpose to the brand right from day one. Purpose for diversity, purpose for ethical sourcing, fair trade, and a whole range of purpose-led attributes that she wanted to make sure her business founded the Body Shop brand on. Now, in terms of context, it's a brand that's now $1 billion brand, selling in 70 countries around the world with approximately 2,000 stores. So it's a very diverse brand. Legacy brands bring with it a considerable amount of awareness. It's a brand that has got 80% awareness globally. So it's a big awareness. What has it lost over a period? And this is a challenge many legacy brands face. And in one word, you can describe that challenge as relevance. How do you bring back relevance? So the purpose and the legacy is deep-rooted and is not broken. What we need to do is to make sure we bring relevance back into the brand through the product, through the packaging, through the conversation that takes place with today's consumer.
Can you also tell us a little bit about the transformation period that you led? When you took over nearly 18 months ago, the brand was at a very, very critical moment. What was that one thing that required immediate attention, something that needed to be changed, and something that you couldn't really afford to change even if you wanted to?
I would say that and again, let me put it into context. The Body Shop was a very successful brand that was sold to L'Oreal for 650 million pounds. It was later sold by L'Oreal for 1.3 billion to a South American group based out of Brazil. So big groups have owned it. What happened was, over these ownerships, the soul of the brand was lost and cost crept in. So when we got an opportunity to acquire the brand, it was in a loss-making position and it had to be put into administration. So we rescued it in June. The first call I got was in June 2024. We completed the acquisition in September. And within the last 16 months, we have done a transformation, driven by multi-layer approach, but cost-cutting, right-sizing the business, changing the ways of working, speeding up innovation. That has allowed us to really get into a very strong, profitable, and cash generation mode now, from which we can now create the foundation for the next 50 years.
But the personal care market today is extremely competitive and it's a crowded space as well. So what is your vision? What is your goal? How do you plan to ensure that the brand remains true to its identity? Because, when it was created, it had a motto. It made women feel confident in their own skin. But then you have so much of competition today. The space is it's growing very fast.
Yeah, look, there is no doubt the beauty industry is a very competitive industry, but it is a very big industry and it is also growing. So we've got a category and an industry that is growing, and in many parts of the world, double digit. But the competitiveness there is very severe, I would say. So you have to have real clarity of purpose, a very sharp amplification of what the brand stands for, and then execution of that, and ensuring that you are now playing a game where the rules have changed. You've got bricks and mortar stores, so we've got 2,000 stores, as I mentioned. But today, every consumer does not want to be forced to come to your store to buy their product. They want to buy online. They want to buy through quick commerce, a big growth area here in India, which really started off in India. So you've got to meet the customer where they shop. And I think that, for me, taking the Body Shop into the future is about ensuring, one, the product is great, it's relevant and up to date in terms of meeting the requirements of Gen Zs and Gen Alphas, who are unforgiving if the product quality or the product promise is not kept. So that's number one. Second, to still remain a brand that is differentiated by purpose and has a emotional connection to the consumer. Otherwise, everything becomes about price and promotion and advertising. Legacy and trusted brands with purpose are not just built through advertising. They're actually built through conviction in those values and living those values.
Okay. I also want to talk to you a little bit about the market that India offers to a brand like the Body Shop. Yeah. Now, in its new phase that it begins in 2026, 50 years it's completing. How do you see India as a market? What kind of plans do you have?
India is one of our top 10 markets, and it's a strategic priority for us. Immediately after taking over the brand, I came to India, and in January, so about 12 months ago, I came here, and I talked about doubling the size of the business. What does that mean? That means going from 200 stores that we've currently got to 400 stores, to increasing our digital sales and being on platforms like Amazon, Nykaa, and others, to embrace quick commerce, to move from tier 2, we're already in tier 1, tier 2 cities. We need to position ourselves for tier 3, tier 4, which means having the right price points, entry-level pricing. We have to be relevant to the Indian consumer, and we have to also ensure that our products and ingredients have resonance with what the consumers of India want. And it's a big enough market for us to actually develop products for that Indian consumer.
Do you source locally as well? How much are you dependent on local sourcing and the local resources?
Yeah. Generally, the global policy is we source centrally, and India is our first exception, where last year we made the decision to allow a certain proportion of the brand to be produced locally. We call it the India Edit. And I must say that I've been very pleased with the high quality of product that is being produced. In fact, when you look at the product, you cannot distinguish it from a product made in Europe. So, kudos to India for achieving that. And the Honorable Minister yesterday spoke about how the focus is on ensuring that quality is not compromised by Indian manufacturing. And I think that's a very wise move and will place India very well to build billion-dollar brands. I know one of the earlier panels, the challenge was, why have we not built an Indian brand that's a billion-dollar brand? I think that will come, but fundamental to that is having really great quality and ensuring that we are creating brands, not just being behind brands, we're creating brands.
Okay, I believe you have about 200 odd stores here in India?
Correct, 200 stores here.
So any targets that you can share with us, plans for tier 2, tier 3 markets?
We're about a 50 million brand here in dollar terms, retail. We're looking to get that over 100 million. So we have ambitious plans and want to double the business. The market has got the capacity to take it. We have got the ambition to grow to that level and also to add value in the purpose-driven approach that we've got for the Indian market.
All right, and with that, our time's also up. Thank you very much,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.